What's up, guys? Today's another Music Gear Monday, and as you can see in here, things look a little bit different. If you've been here to the channel, you know we've been using a different angle. Today is a DIY day. We're going to talk about how I built this DJ console that I use for streaming, and if you've watched Music Gear Mondays, I've done a ton of Music Gear Monday filming on it. We're going to do a little bit of a breakdown and maybe inspire some of you to create your own in your own space. So that's what we're doing today. Music Gear Monday starts now. Let's go. So, as a DIY studio owner, and most of you out there that are DIY studio owners and builders, you know that using recycled material as much as you can or repurposing things goes a really, really long way. During the pandemic, I started doing these Music Gear Mondays on this channel, and I needed a place to shoot them, but I also started to try to get more into streaming, doing stream DJ sets, and I needed a setup that was stationary, that always was there, always ready to go in order for me to do it. And so this console that I built was built to answer those two questions. Basically give me a clean working top to work off of and a space where my turntables or CDJs and mixer would live indefinitely and just be used for streaming. So what is needed for this build? I really utilized IKEA furniture on this build, which a lot of people do because it's cheap, it's easily accessible, and it's easy to modify. So materials you're going to need on this build. You're going to need 3 of the 5-foot by like 30-inch IKEA tabletops. And they sell these tabletops. You can go over into the office section. There's different colors. I just so happen to have 2 sitting around, and I went and bought one more top just to top off the moving surface that I was going to use for the turntable and mixer kind of console reveal or sliding top. You're going to need hinges or sliding hinges. You can get those at Home Depot. They're really cheap. You're going to need some screws. You're going to need about 2 2x4s, and then you're going to need the IKEA table legs, standard legs, and then you're going to need some little casters, and you can get those little wheel casters at Home Depot as well. And that's pretty much it for this build. I did that. I used some white gaff tape to kind of wrap up the 2x4s, which I did it because I didn't have enough time to paint the thing, and I kind of just left it. But I would recommend just going and getting some paint, painting it. It'll look a lot nicer if you do that. So what I did was I cut the 2x4s down into, 5.5, basically cut it under 5.5 and 30 inches so that the 2x4s would sit inside of the table, kind of framed out. And then I layered that with another IKEA table like a sandwich. And then what I did was cut out a pretty good chunk of that table so that you can actually see the turntables and the mixer or CDJs, whatever I was using at the time. You cut off about 18 inches. You leave about 2.5, 3 inches on each side so that you can use that to screw the sliding top into. And then you grab each one of those sliding hinges, you grab those and you screw that into the top of the table, and then you figure out where it's going to live on the actual console. You screw it into the console, and then you're able to slide that top open and close to reveal your turntables. So when you're not DJing or streaming or whatever, you can close that table up. You can use the tabletop to, film on, eat on, whatever you want to do. So that's it. That's pretty much it. It's a really simple, easy build. It took me, maybe like an hour, maybe like an hour and a half to put together. It didn't take that long at all. You can get all the 2x4s pre-cut at Home Depot. You're just going to need a drill and some screws. You screw on the casters on the bottom of the table so that it rolls. You can wheel it anywhere. The one thing I would say to do is maybe get some rods to run across the bottom of the table kind of diagonal so that it has a little bit more stability. I didn't move the table as much, so I really didn't need to do much for the base. But if you're going to be moving it around, or if you're going to be, putting heavy stuff on top of it, I would say, yeah, definitely get some rods to basically go across. But that's it. That is the DIY console. That thing was there for a good 3 years. I used it a ton. Like I said, I filmed a ton of Music Gear Mondays on it. I did a bunch of streams with it. It came in handy. I would recommend it for anybody with a DIY studio that's trying to save some space, trying to have a permanent DJ setup and tabletop to use. The other thing you can do is if you're in an apartment and you want to do this same thing where you have this tabletop, but you actually have your, DJ setup, and you want to maybe have a place to work on your laptop when you're not DJing. Instead of getting those sliding mechanisms, get like swing hinges or hinges that open up, and then you can actually put those hinges on each side and you can open the tabletop up like a trunk, and you might even be able to mount some stuff to the bottom of it as well. Maybe mount a whiteboard or a screen or whatever, and that'll allow you to basically have this console table, up against the wall so that you don't have to have it in the center of the room. Yeah, that is it. That's all that you're going to need for this DIY project. I decommissioned this table recently because we moved a bunch of stuff around and just didn't have the space for it anymore. Like I said, it was a workhorse for me and a great console table. Hopefully it inspires some of you guys out there to, build something in your DIY space. If you have any questions on it or have any questions on your build, throw it in the comments below. Let me know, or shoot me a DM over on IG. We'll keep the conversation rolling. More Music Gear Mondays coming in hot every Monday. I'm Carl Carell. We'll catch you next week. Peace.